You know somebody is cool when they have Darth Vader slippers. Now there needs to be Kylo Ren slippers. What is up, guys? It's Mega Man Chief in here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul. Now, I'm just going to tell you this right now. This will be my last book haul in a long while, and the only reason why this exists is because Barnes & Noble had a great sale going on this month, and I had to hop onto it. It's their classic lines is buy two, get one free, and they're already extremely cheap as they are normally, so to get them to get three and buy to get two and get one free is great. I think that's a great deal. So, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. After a year and a half, probably a year or so, of trying to get into Shakespeare, I finally am starting to. I know a certain someone is going to call me a hypocrite, but oh my goodness, I started reading Hamlet, and it's really, really good. I'm not even joking. It finally clicked with me. And my complete William Shakespeare is not the best way to actually read the plays, so I've decided to just get some individual plays to read some of the plays I really want to read. So I got Twelfth Night and Othello. I don't know what these are about, much like with most Shakespeare plays, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. But first I'm going to talk about Twelfth Night, because this is the one I have to speak about the least. This looks interesting. I think it's about tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is about, like, a set of twins, and their adventures, but I don't know. I really don't know much premises about Shakespeare plays, unless if I've read them, like Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, or Taming of the Shrew, which are the three that I've read so far, and Twelfth Night is up there in the ones I'm wanting to read, but not as much as Othello. Some people actually call this, I know somebody that actually calls this their favorite play ever, not just a Shakespeare play, but just favorite play in general, and that just intrigued me so much that I had to get Othello, and it's extremely thick, and I got this for $8, so I can't wait to read both of these plays. They're definitely up there. In fact, I think on my Shakespeare quest, this is going to be the one I'll read after Macbeth, which is the one I'll be reading after Hamlet. So, yeah, Shakespeare. I finally like Shakespeare. I know a certain someone, like I said, that'll call me a hypocrite, but I don't care. I finally get to see another author that I like. This next book is, I tried to read one of this guy's books a while ago, and I was really enjoying it, and then I just stopped. No reason whatsoever. I just stopped it right in the middle of it. And you know what? And I think, you know what? Let's give this guy some credit. Let's read probably another one of his most famous works, and that is Robert Louis Stevenson. And I got The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I read half of Treasure Island, about a few months ago, and I was really liking it, but I don't know. I just stopped reading it for no reason whatsoever. So, I've heard a lot of good things about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Treasure Island, I think, was his first success, but Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is, the biggest cultural phenomenon out of all of his work. So, can't wait to read it. It looks fantastic. I've heard a lot of great things about it. There's this great booktuber out there, which you probably know because she's really big, that she is known as Ariel Bassett. She gave this a 5 out of 5. She has really good taste. If she gives it a 5 out of 5, then I'm set for a pleasure for sure. So, yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I know the basic premise around it. You know, a man with two personalities, and one of them is a massive serial killer. And it's just a whole mystery thing. It's one of the most classic mystery novellas out there, because it is a novella. Hold up. Only this much is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The rest of them are other stories, which I'm also excited about. But I'm blabbing on now. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Can't wait to read it, and really want to get into more Robert Louis Stevenson. This next book, I started reading Dubliners, and it was fabulous. No, it is fabulous because I'm still reading it. but I'm about halfway through it and it's great. So I accidentally double dipped on it and got Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man with Dubliners. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, I tried to read this back in like all the way in October, but I was just not into it. But I felt like it was a wrong place to start with him. I felt, now that I'm really getting into Dubliners, I can really, really get into Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man now, because I think the thing that messed me up is that James Joyce does not use quotation marks. He just like makes these little dashes in to indicate that someone is speaking. Like, it's a hyphen. That's the word I was looking for, hyphen. And it just confused me so much. It really did. So, yeah. Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I think this is about a Stephen Dedalus. Yeah, that's it. Oh, what was I thinking of? Frederick Douglass. Whatever. Stephen Dedalus. And his, like, life story. And it's just, and his journey on how to become an artist. And it's just, I heard it's amazing. But Dubliners is about Dublin life. It's like a short story collection about Dublin life. And that is really, really good. Guys, check out Dubliners. It's great. But Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, I can't wait to read it. Oh, I feel like my videos are getting worse and worse as it goes along. This next book, I really can't show the cover to. But, because it has somewhat nudity on here, even though it's kind of, you know, it's like classical art, but it's a I'll just cover it. It's a Metamorphoses by Ovid. I really don't want to show the cover because I know it's classical art, but I don't know. I have something against showing things on YouTube, but Metamorphoses is, I think it's about, like, it's an epic poem about creation, and that's all I know. But you know me, I love my epic poetry. Beowulf, a masterpiece beyond epic proportions. The Odyssey, which is another epic tale. What else have I read? Divine Comedy, which is amazing. But so I decided, you know what, let's give more epic poetry a try. And I just realized that this is in prose, not verse. And it really heartbreaks me because I was wanting to read it in verse, but oh well, I'll read it like this. So yeah, Metamorphoses, can't wait to read it. And the final book is a book that I technically already read, but I bought for the other short fiction and just to own this book because it was amazing. And that is The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. It's one of the classic Civil War stories, and it's more of a human story than a war story, which I really appreciate. And also, there is a whole ton of other Stephen Crane's work in here, and it is thin as well. Like, I did not expect it to be this thin. But, oh well, that's just how the way goes. Oh, what am I saying anymore? But The Red Badge of Courage, Henry Fleming is such a sympathetic character, or like he's very like he's so realistic. He's really realistic, but you don't really unless you've been in the war, you don't really feel related to him. You don't feel like, oh, I can connect with this character, but you connect with his character through the realism of him, but not through like the events in his life. It's more unless of course you were in the war or some type of war. Because this is just a universal story. This is a story that anybody can show to that anyone can read and get as much enjoyment out of it. In fact, I don't usually like war books, but like I said, this is more of a human story than a war story, and I loved it. And I can't wait to read the other short stories in here, like The Open Boat, The Veteran, and The Men and the Sea in the Storm. I'm sorry. I was thinking of another book, which is awful, but I don't think this is going to be awful. I really don't think the other stories in this book are going to be awful at all. So, I'm completely terrible with words. I apologize, but The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. I love it. What else do I have to say? Can't go through a video without saying what else do I have to say. So that was the video, guys. I know it's incredibly shorter to my other videos, and I know I really stuttered in this video, but I'm sorry. But that's just how way things are. But I'm really happy with this haul. Like I said, this is probably gonna be my last haul for a long while, but I don't care. I have enough to read. So anyway, I'm just gonna end it right here, right now. I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.